Hello, today we're going to be talking about the potential Mafia 4 trailer that is rumoured to be showcased at the Summer Game Fest on June 7th. It was confirmed back into 2020 that Mafia 4 and 5 were in the works, and again rumours began circulating in 2023 about this game, ranging from the setting, story and era. So I'm making this video today just because there's been a rumour again that a trailer is coming out for this game that will be releasing in a few days. It'll be exciting to see obviously what was true and just to see the game in the brand new Unreal Engine 5. Hopefully Mafia 4 will show us the time from the Pepone family moving from Italy, taking over and owning Lost Heaven, up to the point where Salieri and Morello finally decide that they want to create their own family and take out Pepone, and then obviously it would be a nice little tie-in to bring the whole timeline and story together with the story with a prequel leading up to Mafia 1. So the biggest thing that they probably could delve into is Morello and Salieri's relationship. That could be obviously further explored of how best friends and co-conspirators become arch enemies and taken over Lost Heaven, and why that relationship deteriorated, because I don't think it was actually revealed why in the original Mafia, but again, I'm just assuming that it's probably just down to greed and lust for power. But again, this is a great opportunity to bring an actual reason or something that's just not been brought up before. Just, I don't know, just some creativity, I suppose. It's just some hopeful thinking. So I've like some stuff that I'm hoping that will return or will make an appearance, let's say. So obviously guaranteed characters returning. So if the story is right and it's set between the 1800s of the Pepone family to the Salieri family era of Lost Heaven, I'm hoping that like a few characters from the original Mafia will obviously make an appearance as well, like Luigi, as we all know, is an old school assassin who used to work for Pepone, but obviously he's retired by the time that we see him in Mafia, which he's just a fragile old man working behind the bar, basically. And it'd be good to see him as like in his heyday, basically, which is like a savage killer working for the mob. Obviously a younger Vincenzo as well. Maybe he's not so fat, or maybe he's just joining the family, who knows. Again, there's just so much room to just expand onto people's stories, but again, this is where Mafia DE totally missed out on. They did a little bit, but it wasn't enough for my liking. Potentially some more in Morello's backstory, potentially throwing his brother Sergio into the mix. Like, again, we don't really know much about Morello, so it's just be good to see where his background lies. And obviously Frank Coletti's relationship with Salieri, which kind of touched on in DE, but it wasn't entirely like talking about. Obviously they've known each other for a lot of years, so I'm going to highly assume that he would make an appearance. But again, this is what I've just touched on. Hopefully bring back some other characters, such as Leo Galante, possibly Giuseppe, young Alberto Clemente. Obviously his uncle, as we all know, was a big gangster in Italy, so it is a good little I don't know, if the game is set in Italy at one point, maybe he would show up at some point, I don't know. And obviously a younger, ambitious Frank Vinci. So again, the pieces are there to make like a great story, tying all these characters together to make it one big franchise. But again, it's up to Hangar 13 to put these pieces into place. But yeah, literally, again, there's more like space to introduce, obviously what I've just talked about, Alberto Clemente's uncle Silvio, and the character Frido Clemente, which was introduced into Mafia DE, but it was just a random cigarette card, so I don't know, it was just, obviously it's Alberto's brother, but we've never ever heard about him before. He just came out of nowhere and apparently works in Havana, so it could be like a really good way to introduce him into the actual game. And obviously it could work on Salieri and Vinci's relationship, as we all know that they're good friends together, but we don't know. We can only know this from Mafia 2's little I think it's like a little text at the bottom of the screen or something, but we've not actually seen these two men actually interact, so it'll be quite interesting if the younger versions of them would come together and obviously eventually make their own families in the future. But again, Mafia DE had a really good opportunity to bring back returning characters, but didn't. Apart from the cigarette cards, which I found quite interesting and fun to collect, because it was quite good seeing the characters actually young for once, and also lacking the potential of any DLC for the game, which could have expanded Tommy's story from what we already knew from the core game. So hopefully the Mafia 4 will have some DLC that could actually expand the game rather than just being just that's all they make. 50 quid on the core game and that's it. So what do I wish that will make an appearance in the game? So hopefully the new map isn't as empty and derelict like Mafia 1. Like, once I completed that game and I completed all the trophies, it just had no replay value. As much as it is a classic and I fucking love it, I just get so bored. I just go on there and it's just, you just drive around the city, you shoot someone, the cops come after you straight away. What is the point? That's why I just go back onto Mafia 2, which I can play for hours for some reason. Obviously horses, which I think was quite interesting because we've not actually had a playable, rideable horse in the Mafia franchise at all. So if the game is set between the 1800s and the 1920s, obviously horse riding was more common then. Obviously before cars were just everywhere basically. So it'd be, I'm assuming more like the Italy missions. If it is in Italy, it would be quite interesting to see. And I also hope that it's like a GTA / Yakuza sort of switch characters in between. So obviously you'll have Salieri and Morello, but they'll have their own, their own missions, and they'll go down their own story, but obviously come together in that one mainstream story. So for example, I don't know, Morello might have some side deals going on that he'll be that character and then do their missions, and then Salieri might be doing something else and then you'll switch to Salieri. I thought that would be quite interesting. I mean, that's like the modern games nowadays, isn't it? Like, you just switch characters and stuff. So but yeah, again, we're just waiting for June 7th to see if the rumours are true, if Mafia 4 will pop up. Obviously I'll be making more videos about this in the future. But please let us know in the comments, are you excited for June 7th? And what would you want to see in Mafia 4? And I'll catch you next one. Goodbye.